Hello everyone, today I'm going to be installing the Nest Lock. Nest was purchased by Google, so my home is a Google ecosystem. I have the Nest doorbell, I have Google Home Minis, I have the Nest thermostat. Now I'm going to have the Nest Yale Lock. And so I unboxed it here. From comments from my last video, maybe I was a little too shaky, so I'm trying to be better here. I unboxed it. You can see that we have the lock itself up there, inside and exterior. This is the Nest Connect. All the bolts we need, the deadbolt, the batteries. And so it's saying first step is to get the Nest app. I have it. Second step is to plug this in. Third step is to install the deadbolt. This came with this. It's just saying Nest app, phone, and this. So we'll add this in the Nest app. It'll be easy to do. There's finally instructions here, and so this is instructions for how to install the lock itself. So you got to remove the old one, which is just a couple screws, easy to do. Step 1, we're going to install the deadbolt. Step 2, after the deadbolt, we'll put the strike plate on. We'll put the keypad that goes exterior, so people who come up to your house who have a code can use it. And there's a wire that attaches through the system, through the bottom. So you want to make sure when that wire goes through, it's not going to interfere with the locking mechanism. After you get the keypad, you put the mounting plate on. So this will go on the interior side. It also has a place for the wire to go through. You'll remove the battery cover, and you remove it with this little thing right here. We'll attach the cable, run the cable wires to where they need to go. Install the inside lock right here, just some screws, and then test the operation. So after we put the batteries in, I imagine there is going to be some Nest assistance for setting this thing up. And finally, we'll put the battery cover back on. Look forward to doing this with you guys today. So stay tuned.
Hello!
Alright, so first thing, we're going to remove the old deadbolt. 2 screws here and 2 screws there. So I'll do that and then we'll come right back. Alright, we got the old one off, and I'm saving it just in case we mess something up here. First step is to put the new locking mechanism on, and I've got it there. You can see it's coming through. Very important, it tells you what side is up. Be sure up is up and not up is down, otherwise we're going to have problems. So I'll go ahead and put these 2 screws in here, and then we'll continue. Okay, we have our bolt on. We got a strike plate on the frame over there. I put the front keypad on. And then you run the wire through the bottom and place the back plate on, which has a black sticky side to it. And be sure to run the wire down through the bottom. There are 2 forward facing pins, and those pins go from this back plate to the front plate, but what secures it are bolts that we're going to put in next. And there are multiple bolts. Please choose the correct bolt for the thickness of your door. Okay, we have our 2 through bolts secured. My door thickness allowed me to use the smaller yellow ones. And then the next step is to take the black cover off of the battery storage compartment, and you do that utilizing this thing. This isn't a normal you push it in and it pops out. You gotta put it in there and slide the cover out. So it's one of these motions. Okay, so next step is we're going to run our wire through the back and install the forward facing piece of the lock onto the door. Okay, so the final piece here was completed by taking the battery storage compartment off. It exposes these 2 screw holes. Very important. There's a pin behind this. When you're putting this lock on, the pin has to go through the hole that engages the deadbolt. Make sure it's going through. The other important thing is that there's a lip down here. This slides up onto the lip and presses up through the top to hold your 2 screws here. Otherwise, you're going to have a gap down here at the bottom and wonder what the heck's going on. So now we'll put some batteries in, and we will connect it to the Nest application. Okay guys, so two things I messed up. First one is the two screws that go here are two tiny little black screws. If you put the silver screws in, it'll press against your door and it won't be flush. The second thing, when you go into the Nest app, the first thing you set up is by hitting the settings wheel in the upper right corner of the app, and it'll ask you to scan a QR code. The QR code's on the back of the Nest Connect. Be sure to do that. I tried to do it without doing that, and it wouldn't work. Okay, after you get the final steps of the Yale Lock completed, you put the batteries in. Then the Yale Lock will ask you to press the Yale logo. Go ahead and do that. And then it'll ask you to set a master code between 4 and 8 digits. Go ahead and do that. After you press the check mark the final time, it will state that the Yale Lock is ready to be paired in with your Nest home ecosystem. To do that, you must leave the back cover off of your batteries, open your Nest app, and scan this QR code right here. After you scan the QR code, it will pair itself using the data from your Nest Connect that we previously set up. So this is the second Yale Lock that I'll be installing today on the same Nest Connect, so you can have multiple on one. Thank you, and if you have any questions, post them in the comments. Thank you. Thanks everyone for watching. I now have both doors into my Google Nest app. And I just want to say the last thing I did on this Nest Connect is I taped the battery cover removal tool so I don't lose it onto the back of it. It's hardly noticeable when it's on the wall, and that way I'll always be able to change out the batteries. Thanks everyone.